Welcome back to WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Here at round 5 of 10 for 2018 Championship Monterey MotoAmerica, and we're getting ready for Supersport race action. Let's get down to Hannah.
I'm down here with Valentin DeBeese. He's just finishing buckling up his helmet here. Valentin, with this only being your second race weekend back and only one race here this weekend, how crucial is it for you to get a win or the most amount of points possible?
Crucial, there is nothing crucial. It's, as I said, the race before. It's only about having fun, enjoy myself, do my lap, push as hard as I can, and try to rock this 35 years of partnership with RI, and having fun. I hope you all enjoy the race.
Thanks, Valentin. Best of luck to you. You guys, he's so calm. When you guys were racing, were you ever that calm on the bike before the start of the race?
What, you guys?
Well, yeah. I tried to be Hannah. Greg, I don't know about, but yeah.
Okay. All right.
That helmet did look amazing, by the way.
It is amazing. Just stop talking. We're going to take a commercial break. On the other side, we're back as Supersport race action is coming up. Monterey, California, sun shining. Temperature not as hot as yesterday, but the wind is blowing on this one as we are setting the stage for Supersport race, the final race of this combined weekend, MotoAmerica and World Superbike, that has been a tremendous success all across the board. Valentin DeBeese on pole, JD Beach and Hayden Gillum right next to him. Corey West, who is third in points, is fourth. We'll talk more about him. Nick McFadden, I think, and Braden Norton. Nick McFadden, and he's getting close to a podium. And then on back to row number 3. Richie Escalante, Bryce Prince, Miles Thornton, Lucas Silva, Michael Gilbert, and Daytona Anderson. In row number 5, we have Anthony Mazziato III, Jason Aguilar, one of our series champions. He was super stock. And how about Caroline Olsen in her second race back? In 15th spot, J.C. Camacho, Wyatt Ferris there as well, Ashton Yates, and then Benjamin Smith, Max Angels, Aaron Graham, Fernando Silva, Kinzer Naylor, Jared Nisani, who raced earlier in the day in the Junior Cup, Dylan Lampkin, Robert Pierce, Brad Sainz,
Mark Jensen, I recognize his name a little bit.
Yeah.
Cal. Good to see him doing well.
And our 29th competitor is... All right. Warm-up lap time.
Now,
interesting thing for Supersport, Jason. They did not turn a lap yesterday at all.
They had a session Saturday morning or Friday morning, qualifying Friday afternoon. Didn't do anything yesterday. Could have slept in. None of them did, probably. Sunday came. They got a qualifying session this morning. So their second qualifying was today. That's hard to do, especially when you got a race coming up. Don't want to cause more work for your crew, but happens occasionally. But how about Valentin DeBeese, 0.7 quicker than the next guys? To go 26 flat around here on a 600 is pretty crazy. So that's incredibly fast. Lets me know that he's riding pretty free, pretty freed up. And like exactly what he said to him, I'm just trying to have as much fun as I can, rocking his new lid from a ride, and just out there ripping on his bike. And, that's the attitude I feel like that gives us.
And for Valentin, he was back home in France, which he was. So I actually got to ride with him from America down to Chicago, drop him off to fly home that Monday after. He gets to ride at a racetrack on a motorcycle a lot. So it's raining, uncharacteristically raining where he was in France, but he still was able to get on a road race course 6 times during the time that we were off, on top of being able to pedal and do all those things. So, he definitely has his life dialed in to where his whole focus is one. The M4 X-Star Suzuki rider wants to win. End of story.
It's just too bad to see what happened to him at the Daytona 200 while leading and battling for the lead. I know it's an iconic race that he wants to win, and it hurt him and his team's chances this year in the MotoAmerica Championship to really make a run at that title. But he's just going to keep doing the best he can, keep on trying to win races and see where it all plays out.
Number 18. Nick McFadden, you can see that helmet that the entire M4 team, that of course is the M4 Med-Age Suzuki team. And of course, you can see from Valentin, that is, you know, you see the white part is like a hammer. It's a great design. Arise now thinking about bringing it back, something that you might be able to get as a consumer. JD Beach in the middle, just behind Rachel, who's holding that red flag. He and John Ethel put their heads down, and this was the race last year where Dunlop introduced that smaller tire. JD, and here we go, Supersport. Race action underway. A little bit of a wheelie back there on row number 3. But JD Beach and Valentin DeBees get away cleanly. Great launch from JD.
Wow, what a start from JD. But he's had a lot of them dirt track experience starts lately. So, and who's this? Is Hayden trying to go up underneath him? No, it's Corey West.
Corey West
with a great start. Gets himself up into second. This is what he wanted. Is he going to lean on Valentin? He is. Good for Corey. Just kind of
JD up and out
of the saddle. And that's going to allow DeBees through. That's going to allow Corey up into second again. And this is what Corey wanted.
JD again, sorry.
A little bit off the foot peg again, wasn't he, Greg? So JD's now trying to go up underneath Corey West as they head into turn 5. He's going to make that pass, try to stick. Corey's doing his best to square up the Yamaha rider. Probably not going to quite have to pull up the hill as JD's bike, but we're going to see here. But this is exactly what Corey wanted to do, get away with the leaders. At MotoAmerica, at a big, long, fast track, Corey pulled the second or third fast stop. You can see it's a hard way to go for Hayden Gillen. Let's see if Corey lets the brakes off and doesn't let that happen.
He does.
Yep, Corey kept him behind him there, Greg. Hayden went up along the outside of him. Corey just let the brakes off.
Good effort from TSE Racing to keep Corey West racing after he started the season on the M4 X-Star Suzuki that Valentin DeBees is racing, but he's starting the point, so TSE doing everything they can to continue to come to the racetrack and put a bike underneath Corey West. And early on in this race, he's paying him off as Hayden Gillen uses the brakes, and he's going to get ahead of Corey.
Trying to square him up. And now let's see if they go up over turn 1. We're going to be able to see if Corey can hold on. Yep, Corey holds on. Great job. And you were exactly right, Greg. This TSE group is a small team out of Wisconsin that brought Corey West on. They've got a lot of experience with Corey. They are doing everything they possibly can to try to finish the year. This is a team that wasn't even in the MotoAmerica paddock at the beginning of the year, and now they're trying to figure out a way to make it to where they can finish the season out. So Corey West doing a good job. He's been commentating here all weekend, by the way, as well. So he's been a pretty busy guy, and he's still currently third.
So JD Beach led early, and then just coming out of turn number 3, sent the thing up to the moon. And who knows? Let's take a look and see if we can see what happened. Oh, this
is the beginning of the lap. You can see just on the left part of your screen, you can see 2 legs go up in the air, just like that. And that's just getting on the gas a smidge early. Boy, look at Braden Orton. He had the same thing happen behind him, and it looked like he was behind. Wow, it's a big save. Hey,
that snapped quickly.
And just as quickly as that, that's what can change a championship. So JD's done a good job. He's ran back down. Valentin as they head down the hill here through Rainy Curve. Corey West to hold back there. Hayden Gillen 4th, McFadden 5th. And you were talking to me earlier, Greg, about Nick possibly getting on the podium. So I agree with you on that one as well.
I talked to Nick about that. You know, if the M4 Med-Age Suzuki team was putting any pressure on him, he said no. But just the pressure that he has racing is steps. They want to see incremental steps. But I think really at the halfway point of the season, Nick McFadden has got to put together a race that sees him on the podium. JD Beach coming up underneath. All right, he's got it turned. Yep. Valentin's leaning on him, but he's got position.
Yep, he's got that position. He did a great job of just being able to pull up alongside Valentin enough to not make that pass complete. So he was able to just get past him, and now his tires and those are up to temperature. He's ready to go.
That's what, you know, that might have been it. And that off of the back of the fastest lap of the race. So JD just did a 1:27.3 and then able to make that pass. So Beach leads the way. JD, number 95 on the Monster Energy Yamaha Extended Services Graves Yamaha R6 has made the pass on Valentin DeBees. Now Valentin can have a good look at what JD has to offer. What part of the racetrack JD's strong. One of the things we know about both these racers, they're very smart motorcycle racers. Because there's 2 components to it. There's how do I go fast on a motorcycle, but then how do I handle the situation? Do I race?
Yes, that's right. And they've ridden around each other a lot, so there's a lot of mutual respect. You never see either one of these 2 guys do anything really silly. You never ever see it. So they're both going to feel very comfortable racing with each other. And I think that DeBees, the amount of laps that he does, this guy, if you come to a MotoAmerica race, he's literally the first one on the paddock every time. Everybody goes down there, lines up, Valentin's nowhere around. All of a sudden, you see this bike pull around everywhere. Everybody, and when the lights go green, he's the first one out. Corey West, Hayden Gillen, Nick McFadden come across the line. 26.8 for JD Beach that last time, 27.2 for JDBs. These guys here, high 27s, low 28s. But right now, Corey West is just going to be in pure grind mode. Get these laps grinded out. He's already withstood the initial attacks of Hayden Gillum at the beginning of this race. So now it's going to be all about just trying his best to keep his head down, keep looking forward most that he can, trying to run these laps as hard as he can.
Quick note on Hayden Gillum and that ridiculous crew. You know, if you look at this motorcycle, it's a very capable motorcycle of winning races, but no data for Hayden Gillum and his crew. So all of these tracks that we go to, from this point forward, with the exception of Barber, they've never been to. So they're still working on gearing, because you can't take, say, information from JD Beach and plug it right into Hayden Gillum. He's a different size rider. He rides in a different way. And so they're still a new team working on this, and we do know that Hayden has got a 2-year deal with that crew. So really what they're looking at too is they're racing for the future as well.
Yep.
Getting good information that will help them when they come back to this racetrack in 2019.
That's right. They've done a great job. And we said in some of our other broadcasts that whole ridiculous crew, they've become a big presence in the paddock, which is nice. Nice rig, good semi, 2 good solid riders. Jason Aguilar struggling a little bit today. You can see back there in 16th on your screen on the left. But Hayden Gillum is always battling for that podium spot. We've seen him lead races. We've seen him win races. So he's always right there, Greg. 27 flat, 26.9 for the Bees. So these guys are pulling about half a second a lap on the guys in front of them, lap after lap.
So we have JD Beach obviously leading the way. Valentin DeBees, Corey West in 3rd, Hayden Gillum, Nick McFadden. Bray Nort back there in 6th. Ort, of course, has been on the podium this season. Richie Escalante as well in 7th. Bryce Prince in 8th. Anthony Mazziato in 9th. Lucas Silva in 10th. Just ahead of Michael Gilbert, Miles Thornton. And on back through the field, Caroline Olsen, who started in 15th spot, sitting back in 19th for the moment.
These guys are just kind of settling things down. Fastest split of the second split there for Valentin DeBees. That's the fastest one we've seen of this race. Second split. It's just a small split in the middle. There's 4 different splits in this lap. So it allows Greg and I to kind of see who's going fast where. So we can start determine where something might be getting set up for a pass later on in the race. So, and he's got another fast split. So this is going to be a pretty fast lap for both of these guys.
This is what Valentin will do. Now, if he doesn't feel he has the pace to check out and he gets past, he's going to just go to work on JD and start to formulate a plan. Where can I pass him that is going to stick? The M4 Star Suzuki. That's the Suzuki GSX-R 600, the same motorcycle you can buy off the showroom floor, just like this R6, which was bought off the showroom floor by TSC.
Yeah, actually, the 2016 models, one they had laying around the shop that they put together, they actually do have a 2018, but they just don't have enough bits for it right now. So this is the one they've brought out. They brought a small trailer out instead of their bigger rig that they have back in Wisconsin, just so that they can house Corey here at the races. The team stays at the track too, Greg, and I mean, there's a number of things that they're doing just to kind of cut costs, just so that they can be able to get to the races.
Hayden Gillum, and speaking with him earlier on today, we talked about, this is like a newer team. His crew chief hasn't really worked on an R6 in a number of years, so he's getting used to working on the bike as well and dialing in all the things they need to get dialed in. But so Hayden wasn't as thrilled about strapping the helmet on today because he didn't quite get the feeling from the motorcycle that he enjoys. But he still put himself right now in a position to stand on the podium as these two riders are just starting to check out on the rest of the field. You can see coming through turn 10 that Corey West and Hayden Gillum are coming through Rainy Corner. So into turn 11 they go. JD Beach, a left-hand corner he loves and is always comfortable. Look, this racetrack, WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca, 2.2 miles of ridiculous fun, has always been a favorite of dirt track racers because of the predominant left-hand corners.
Yep, 26.8 fastest lap of the race for JD Beach this last time by. So you still see this battle for third. They've managed to get themselves away from Nick McFadden. And just behind Nick is Brayden Ort.
Yeah, and he's coming under fire from Brayden, by the way. Nick's getting ready to lose his spot. You can see them back there, top of your screen. That was M4 Med-H Suzuki and, Brayden Ort on that Toon Racing Yamaha. The Canadian rider, that red and white bike, so good to see in the paddock.
Yeah, it is. It's great. Brayden is such a good kid, too. If you ever get a chance to meet up with him, Mike Pond, the whole Tuned Industries team have really got a special kid in that guy, and
he just enjoys being here.
They put a great bike underneath him.
Yep.
I saw Jeff Stern earlier down there in the paddock. Talked to him a little bit. Yeah, they got a good group of people down there.
In talking to John Ethel, crew chief for the number 95 bike of JD Beach on that Monster Energy Yamaha. After their after their sessions on Friday, I should say, and waiting all day yesterday, they got to go out this morning early when there was fog and chill. And I asked John what they were working on for JD. That's the one thing about getting up to speed quickly is when you come to a race like this and you don't have as much time, the faster you get up to speed, the better off. All they really worked on for JD was a feeling in the rear end of the motorcycle. He wanted to try to get the rear end of the bike to settle down a little bit on acceleration to get more grip.
Yeah, that's great. And it looks like they've done that because these guys are still running very low 27s.
Yeah.
So they're definitely in that process right now of being able to do that 28 flat right now for Richie Escalante. He's back at 7th. That's another guy we always keep our eye on. That's his fastest lap of the race. But right now, these two guys are just kind of settled down up front at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like JD is trying to do the hurry up game. Valentin is there, but it's like about another 1/10 of a second. But it just might be Valentin's comfortable there. He doesn't really need to be that close.
And you don't want to show you.
No.
Of course,
Braden.
just talked about you, Braden, and you do that to me.
Look at that great that bike looks, though. Yeah.
Turn 2. I'm sure the left side of the flag is probably not as in good a shape as the right side. But just got talking about Braden. I need to stop doing that. I need to stop.
Yeah, the
I always seem to give him the little commentator curse.
I'm going to go with that was on Braden on that one, JP. All right, to the corkscrew they come. 12 laps remain in this one. And there is the Toon Racing rider, Braden Nort. Here's a look at Jay.
Just gets into turn 2. Looks innocent enough. Just pulled a little bit too much brake lever on. And
it was a little early.
It was a little bit early. Skittled the bike off. It's always hard to run in the gravel, too.
Yeah.
Never looked the same running in the gravel.
In leathers.
Yes, exactly.
That meant to actually be bent
There we
over
go.
in arms. Yeah.
Yeah, but good to see Braden back up. Going to move a few people up behind him.
11 laps to go now as JD comes across the stripe. Will lead another one, 1/10 of a second the difference. So I think you're right, Jason. The mid part of this race, we've settled into some sort of a rhythm. And if you're Valentin DeBees, you let JD lead at the moment and see how JD is going to fare with the abuse on his tires.
Yep, and DeBees is just, he's very cagey. It's very smart. He's just kind of sitting there watching what's going on right in front of him right now.
And Hayden Gillum, by the way, has gotten around Corey West in that battle for third spot, at least for the moment. So you can see maybe.
Somebody else, did Max Angles go down, or did he have a problem too, Greg? Because everybody's jumping up the spot.
It looks like Max
maybe had a problem as well. I didn't want to say go down, but I know Braden went.
Well, Max has slid down to 19th. You can see in the left part of your screen there.
Bumped a couple more people up in front of him, so maybe there was a problem there for him. And we're only on that line of 19, Greg. So like you said, 10 laps to go. But I watched Valentin do a race simulation Friday, and he was just able to pounding out laps. And all these guys do that, But the beast, he goes out there, he gets out first in line, and just goes out there and just pounds out laps, gets up to speed immediately. And like right there, those are all right there, just having a look. That is literally just a test run. Okay, let me see where he's going here. Would I be able to drive up the inside of him or not? And that's just kind of letting him know what's going on.
And it's not to say that JD Beach is a sitting duck at this point, because if there is any racer out on the racetrack that loves racing more than JD Beach, I would challenge you to tell me who it is. And he's very smart about how to race as well. Even though JD doesn't have the advantage of seeing where Valentin's strong and not, if JD gets past, he's going to fight back right away.
100% right. It looks like something happened a little bit to Valentin in this lap. Just going from turn 2 to turn 3, he's lost a little bit of time. Just lost a little bit of time on him there.
Yeah, the split time 22.8, 22.9. So not anything that's very fast splits.
Yeah.
But not green splits or red splits that are indicating to us that they're the fastest. Matching splits right now for Valentin, so 18.1, so he's back on it.
It's pretty good from the corkscrew down, too. If you watch him come down, both these guys are obviously on the same. If you watch them come down from this point, they're on the same line. But DeBees is really good down through rainy curve. So you go left and right. And this is really steep down here. There's two big black marks that I always aim at. Valentin just run them. Both these guys run them both over going down the hill. In fact, both of them are just a little inside the second black mark, which just tells me that they have a lot of confidence in their bikes and their turning ability right now.
Halfway point of this race. JD, he's actually very good into turn 11. He carries, you know, he doesn't spend a lot of time straight up and down. He's always working on getting that motorcycle turn.
27 flat for both of them. So their fastest lap of the race, 26.8, 26.9, and they both just went 27 flat. Just a little bit further back, Hayden Gillum has made the pass on Corey West, 27.9, 27.8 for them. So they're still in the 7th as well, Greg. So they're not just hanging about. It's a matter of just being able to, you know, they're just a little tick off of these guys.
And Corey's not losing any time, only 0.2 of a second back from Hayden.
Yep, he's right there with him still.
But to give you an idea of qualifying times, you know, JD Beach qualified at a 26.7. His fastest lap of the race on lap 3 was a 26.8, so only a 1/10 slower than he qualified, and only 3/10 quicker than his last lap halfway through this race.
Yep, great slow motion action. These guys coming down to the corkscrew. See, he's got extra soft front, extra soft rear for his Dunlop choice of tires here.
Yep, and as you saw, the color distinctions in Superbike, not what we're going to see in Supersport, at least not for the moment. So having that bit of information, since we don't have the visual cues, is very helpful. What are you seeing from JD's bike right now, Jason?
It actually looks pretty solid, but you made mention of how good he is in the 10-11 grade. That's because he doesn't mind backing the thing in, squaring up the corner and getting out, you know? You can see the bike is just, he's not scared to let the bike just kind of hang out a little bit. But he still carries quite a bit of roll speed through the middle of that corner. It's going to be hard for Valentin to do something with it there. He's going to have to make a big commitment to park him. Actually, just like literally park him there. This is the spot where, to me, JD seems to make up a little bit of ground, like in between 2 and 3. And you can see Valentin's running wide. You know, it's almost like Valentin's trying to go in with him into turn 2. But his bike, the pitch characteristics of what the bike are doing, JD's bike's backed in, and the Beast doesn't do a lot of that. I love how Valentin just runs the bike straight in, the bike doesn't back in, but that's just a characteristic of JD, isn't it? We've seen it with him riding against Garrett and stuff in the past as well.
Hate to go in this one, JD Beach continues to lead the way. On that Monster Energy Yamaha Extended Services Graves Yamaha, M4 X-Star Suzuki's Valentin Debise, the Frenchman, who only his second race back, as you heard Hannah say at the top of the show, and in 2 races back for Valentin Debise, a win and a second place finish. And
Corey
here's
West
that battle for third.
Corey's still gnawing on him, isn't he? I mean, these two guys had such a great race at Road America, and I follow both of them on Instagram, and there was a little bit of banter between the two of them about how fun that race was, and you know how Corey wishes it could have been the other direction. But you know, a lot of respect for these guys. You know, when you've been sitting on the couch like Corey was for that many years and just doing 1 race a year, coming back and doing this is pretty impressive stuff. And I said to him the other day, I said, you know, as you get a little older, you get a little smarter. You don't get as frantic the way you ride. You plan things a little bit more, and that's just what it looks like he's been doing. And he's had a lot of fun this race with Hayden. These guys, again, 27.3, 27.4. So they're still
up. Nolan Lampkin out, number 52 rider.
There he is right there, turn 2.
Yeah, so Nolan
tips
Lampkin
over
on that Cycle Gear Racing machine out of Indianapolis. So it looks like he's going to rejoin the race.
Shame to see him do that.
We know that Braden Nord is out on this one. He wasn't able to get going again, so he's DNF'd. But most of the field, Jason, we still have 27 riders in this field.
Yeah.
Supersport, not a lot of attrition.
Oh, you're going to do it now, aren't you? See?
Yeah, what?
Now?
What?
The little commentator thing.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Let's hope these guys all keep it going. How about Lucas Silva running in 10th? Top 10. Lucas Silva, I don't know how many times he's been out here. I talked to his brother Bruno a little bit yesterday. Both guys down in the Florida region. But what a tremendous run by him to be running 10th behind Michael Gilbert, Bryce Prince. But he's ahead of a lot of guys in the race here before. So good to see Lucas running 10th place there.
Yeah, JD Beach leads away from Valentin Debise, Hayden Gillum, Corey West, that battle. And then you have Richie Escalante has gotten around Nick McFadden, Anthony Mazziato into 7th spot. Bryce Prince, Michael Gilbert, Lucas Silva, like Jason was saying, JC Camacho, Miles Thornton, Wyatt Ferris, Tony Anderson, Jason Aguilar. So a lot of champions in this class.
Yep.
That have won in the past, including Jason Aguilar, the Superstock 600 winner.
These guys go through, look at Debise. Now he's just starting to look down the inside. We're getting that point now, Greg.
Yeah.
27.2, 27 flat for Debise. I mean, these guys are still running the same pace they ran. That's a testimony to obviously how good the tires are that they're on as well. And we've got a pretty fast field because we haven't seen any real back markers yet.
Good point.
With 4 or 5 laps to go, it kind of goes to show that the whole field moving along pretty well.
Lampkin pulled into the pits. Here's
He's
the
having to
move.
go. Turn 5, Greg.
There it is. So turn 5.
JD goes back underneath
I
him.
told
Just
you.
turn it back up underneath him. That's what JD does so good.
Old Jiggy Dog is not scared to throw it right back in your face.
Nope, not at all.
Especially if JD thinks you've got some pace on him. He wants to lead and slow you down. There's our first bit of some lap traffic.
Yeah, but it looked like that person may have had a problem already, and they're just kind of cruising around. I couldn't tell for exactly. But it's a lot of space that they made up there. So.
Yeah. Okay, so with 6 laps to go, make a note. Valentin DeBees, M4X Star Suzuki, made a pretty aggressive move on JD Beach, and JD came right back at him. So there is try number 1. We know that Valentin DeBees has been sizing up JD. There's a little different line.
But look, he's closer now.
Uh-huh.
He's closer, and he had to look down the inside going into turn 2 last lap. He just kind of pulled himself over to the left just a little bit. This time he followed him in. But he's right up behind him, and this is where he's been running a little bit wide. He's able to get it controlled this time.
Nice and close. A lot of trust with these 2 riders. Not the easiest racetrack, Jason, in my opinion, to be directly behind the rider because it's difficult to see.
You're
you know
exactly
what I mean?
right,
Like your lines in some of these corners.
These guys ride together, like you said, so much together, and he's got a good taste now. Look at JD blocking that inside line going into 5. So and that's all part of racecraft, learning about that, understanding that the guy's going to try it once there. It's a good chance he's going to try it again. Miles Thornton. He was running in our top 15, Greg, was Miles Thornton. So now Miles has gone down.
Don't even blame it on me.
No, I'm not. This is a few races later. This is turn 11, isn't it? That looks like it's just
a few laps later. I
Yep.
mean, it is the part of the race too when tires start to go off and people can make mistakes, especially if they see a couple positions right up ahead of them.
Anderson has had a problem. Daytona Anderson went 38.3 the last lap to jump back some spots. I'm not sure what happened to Daytona. I'm looking at his splits. But yeah, he's back. He did get back on. He's back in 15th. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. But good to see Miles get back up. And here we go again. Now what do we got, Greg? We have about 4 to go, I think it is.
Yeah, this should be 4 to go as they just came across the stripe. He's going to make a move now. No, not
here.
close enough.
He's kind of cruising in behind him here.
Starting to get it a little sideways. You can see Valentin had a couple extra bike lengths than he wanted. So he used the brake lever to close that gap, but it's about squaring off that corner and getting out of turn number 2. That's critical.
Here we go. Miles just got in there. He was right behind Lucas Silva. Great. You can't even tell you how easy it is. You're going in that turn. You feel like, oh, everything's good. The next thing you know, the front is just gone. You cannot save the front end slide from overbraking. You just can't save it. It's nearly impossible. We all talk about how amazing the things that Marquez does. All the stuff that he does are just from pushing hard, getting into corners, allowing those gyros to keep spinning. When you're slowing that thing down and you get on the edge of the tire, it is impossible to save. And,
Especially that slow corner.
You're 100% right. When it gets a little slow like that, it makes it really hard.
And as the tires have this much wear on them, it makes it a lot easier to make those mistakes and have that control rate. Coming up on some traffic now.
Yep, now we finally are going to see our first kind of traffic and speed. So we're probably going to get, that looks like, is it Robert Pierce?
Yeah, Robert Pierce.
They're going to get him going down to turn 11.
Oh, they split him.
Yep, they split him. They sure did.
That was World Endurance style right there.
Oh my gosh. Yep, they were able to get by him. And Robert looked over his shoulder, good man there, to see if there was anybody else coming. The battle for third is still going great. Those guys are still only separate by 0.3 of a second.
80 and a little deep on that one.
Yep, that's okay though, because you know what, Greg, doesn't matter if he's in a little deep because of how he squares up the turn.
Yeah.
He gets in there, he gets the thing back in, he gets it kind of pivoted and then shoots off the corner, so it doesn't hurt him so much. And here we go. These guys
Corey West still
are
going for
tied
it.
up, and Corey wants payback for sure as far as trying to get that TSC Racing R6.
That's the older version too. There was an update after 2016, and so and Yamaha being really the only manufacturer coming out with the newer 600. So Corey West and this TSA group, what a performance they're putting on here. And
they told me they do have another bike, Greg, and maybe if this can continue for this team, maybe they can get that bike underneath him for Utah and the Sonoma round, and maybe get him on an updated bike. But look, this bike's running great. Corey's not going to be complaining about this bike at all. And And to be able to race with Hayden right now, look, he's right stuck in his draft. Let's see if he does something with him at the top of the corkscrew. It looks like he's lining him up pretty good. Look, Greg, he is lining him up pretty good. Oh,
yeah.
Gotta go.
And of course, Hayden just a larger in stature rider than Corey as well. And so giving away a little bit on that one. And, you know, Hayden, we've seen him ride comfortably, like when he's on a really comfortable motorcycle. It looks like he's not as comfortable as we've seen him in the past, because we know for sure that the number 69 Ridiculous Racing Yamaha is able to run right up front and should be with JD Beach and Valentin DeBees.
Correct. No, that's where he has been. But I think with Valentin coming back and JD having a couple races now under his belt, we're kind of starting to see the dominance of those same two guys again. And these two guys are the guys that are pushing those two. And today, you know, of course, they're 15 seconds back, but they're kind of the best of the rest right now. Gillen's been up there all year, as has Corey. Corey's just done it on two different motorcycles, is all.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, that's all.
Two different motorcycles, two different brands. Totally different. All right, so
there's Miles. So the lappers now are coming up to some guys that had some issues. So this could really help JD. If he gets these guys up at the top of the field, he's not going to get him at the corkscrew, but the Bees is falling back just a hair. And JD's probably going to actually get held up a little bit maybe in the middle of the corkscrew. Here's our battle for third again between these two guys. Last time we saw it, Corey got in there a little bit too deep. See it back in on him?
Yeah.
That's going to ruin his drive just a little. He's not going to be able to get up the hill quite as good as he did the lap prior. He's going to close up on the brakes, see him back. That's what he did. He knew. Yeah, see, problem is, Greg, in Laguna Seca, this is what happened. Look at all these guys getting out of the way of the leaders. Miles Thornton's there. I think Jared Mercedes there. And everybody just kind of got out of the way.
Valentin got in that bump, that little dip. As Valentin DeBees took the fastest third sector split in of the entire race. So there he is not giving up. Neither is this battle for third. Corey West trying to fill that last spot on the podium. As is Hayden Gillen trying to hold on to it.
I think DeBees is just falling a little bit too far back. He's going to have to do something with a corkscrew or something like this. And I would expect that's what Corey's going to do as well. I would expect Corey's in deep, right? He's doing everything he can to get on the back of Hayden so that he can try to do something with him either out of turn 4 going to 5. But you can see what happens. When you run in deep and you run a little bit wide, you lose all your drive. That's what Laguna does. Laguna draws you in, and you can see he's just trying so hard. Corey's whole body and everything has changed this lap, the last 2 laps. Here we go, Greg. And DeBees just isn't quite close enough.
So JD Beach with a couple of tenths of a second gap up out of turn 6. They'll head to the top of the corkscrew. Got to be nice and tidy for JD. He knows Valentin's back there. A good line by DeBees. Oh, and rider down, Corey.
Is that Corey West?
Corey West.
Corey. And you can see things were just going a little bit sideways for him there. Coming into this last lap, he was trying so hard, and turn 5 is the spot it happens, and that's gonna really frustrate Corey.
So back up front we go to the final corner of this race. JD Beach. A little bit of wheel spin coming off that final corner. Head down to the checkered flag, and it goes to JD Beach on the Monster Energy Yamaha Extended Services. Graves Yamaha. What a race. Valentin made him work for it, and how about another podium appearance for Hayden Gillen on his Ridiculous Racing Yamaha.
Yeah, and he's not going to know. He's not going to know what happened to Corey there, but Hayden Gillen, great job again. That whole Ridiculous Racing crew. Now Escalante is going to get 4th, I believe. Great, yeah. Good job for him on that. And that team had a little bit of a tough weekend in Superbike at the Hudson Motorcycle Group.
Now, in terms of the championship hunt, Braden Ort out of it.
Here we go, Greg. He's trying to make up time because I think he felt like he could do something with him in the corkscrew, and that's all it takes.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And oh man, I'm actually glad that bike hit the air fence and not a wall, but you can see dejected the second that he got up. You can see his head went straight down, Greg.
That is not for lack of trying. That's the one thing.
Absolutely not.
He wanted that podium, and he had a plan. I bet talking to Corey West after this, he had a plan. So he continues to go. So it's JD Beach, Valentin DeBees, Hayden Gillen, Richie Escalante in 4th, Nick McFadden in 5th, Anthony Mazziato with a good solid 6th, Bryce Prince in 7th, Michael Gilbert will be 8th, Silva in 9th, Jason Aguilar in the top 10. Then you have Ferris Camacho, Caroline Olsen able to score 3 points. She'll advance up to 13th ahead of Daytona Anderson and Benjamin Smith, our former KTM rider. Then you have Aaron Graham, Ashton Yates, Jared Sani, Miles Thornton, and Fernando Silva. There's your top 20.
Yeah, that's a good win for JD. He just was able to lead from the front. He felt like he had the pace. And DeBees just didn't. It looked like with like 2 to go. I think even the traffic there going up, coming down the hill into 11. You know, we saw that fastest third split because DeBees had lost a little bit of time. So with 2 to go, DeBees runs the fastest third split of the race. When it goes purple that late in the race, it's pretty impressive. But you can see Hayden doing a little stopping down the hill. There's DeBees saying hi to everybody up in the corkscrew.
That was a fun race for him, I'm sure. He wants to win, but at least he put on a fantastic show for the fans. JD Beach extends his win total to 5 on the season, trying to start a little win streak. So far for JD Beach, Jason, it's been win, second, win, second, win.
Yep, pretty impressive. He's
And
on
of
a
course,
roll.
yeah, and of course,
we've seen this out of him before.
we certainly have. And of course, for Valentin DeBees, his 3rd race back, and a 3rd podium appearance for him, a win and 2 second-place finishes. And this, of course, will launch Hayden Gillum to his 6th podium appearance of the year. You know, I was talking about Corey West there. He's 3rd in the points, and that's very, very important for the TSC team and what he's up to. Braden Ort was 21 points behind him.
I saw JD stop, and he's going to go up to Hayden Hill here. I believe, Ray. I could be wrong. Yeah, there you go. Going to go up and celebrate with Nicky a little bit. Pretty cool for JD Beach to do this. Always thinking about Nick, and a lot of the racetracks now have really paid homage to Nicky Hayden. It's pretty amazing stuff. I saw JD pulling over to the right. I saw all the other riders going in and looking over to the right. So pretty good stuff.
Anthony Mazziato just double checking to see if JD needed a ride.
Yep,
that's nice.
Yeah, very cool. and Anthony Mazziato, 6th place finish. That's really good for him here. And the kid's really consistent, Greg.
He is.
He always finishes races. We watched him come up through the KTM 390 Cup Series and do such a good job. And good for him to put it 6th today.
The YCRS Mazziato Racing Yamaha. Mazziato out of New Jersey. All right, so JD Beach. What a win. We're going to take a break. On the other side, we'll hear from these racers to find out how their race went. Stay with us. Welcome back to WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca in Monterey, California, as the Supersport race for MotoAmerica is done and dusted with JD Beach, Valentin DeBees, and Hayden Gillum. They'll get to hang out on the podium after this one. And with a little bit of attrition, Richie Escalante and Nick McFadden. All right, let's get back. Let's go down to Hannah. Hannah?
I'm here with our 3rd place finisher, Hayden Gillum. Hayden, you had quite the battle with Corey, but you managed to stay in front of him. He was putting a lot of pressure on you. Talk about your battle with Corey.
Yeah, you know, got off to kind of a rough start, but made a couple passes in turn 1. Everybody ran a little bit wide. And then, yeah, Corey was riding good. I tried a couple moves on him early on, but I just couldn't get by him. He was coming out of the corners really good, and he breaks so deep. It's tough. So, no, the bike was working really good. We've kind of had troubles all weekend, just with setup and everything. But you know, I'm happy to be back on the podium. I'm angry at myself I couldn't go with those guys. But you know, hats off to the ridiculous team: Robert, Sean, Chad, Rick, Kelly, Josh, everybody for helping me and giving me a great bike. You know, we'll see what we can do out at Miller.
You know, had you known that Corey had crashed toward the end there, do you think that would have taken some pressure off you to come across the finish line, or what are you thinking there? I
had no idea that he even crashed. I was just trying to go. I thought I could still hear bikes behind me, so I was just pushing and pushing. I was not over pushing, but you know, riding to my limits. And yeah, I think I still would have been pushing as hard. I don't want to let them have a huge gap on me to 3rd place, so trying to make it as small as I can, but those guys were running so good, it was tough.
Well, thank you so much, Hayden. Congratulations.
Yeah,
you know, you hear disappointment, right?
Totally, because he got used to running up at the front, and that's the thing. And I'm not going to say Hayden hasn't made the step. It's just that he's every weekend he's on a new team, right? He came out. It's when you come out as hard as these guys did right off the bat and win races and things. That's your expectation now for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
When you finish 17 seconds back, that's not what he wants. He wants to be closer. He wants to see those guys.
Yeah, and I think after you win too. Yeah, I got third. It's my 6th podium, but big deal. All right. Well, for Valentin DeBeese, he's back, and he's back in a big way, Hannah.
Valentin, you tried to make a pass on JD there with 5 or 6 laps to go, but it didn't quite stick. What was your strategy for the end of the race? You started to lose him a little bit there toward the end.
Strategy, I won't say this time was a strategy. Mainly, after this morning, I was thinking I could run away. But when I saw Gini went in front of me, he had a stronger pace than I have. And so I said, okay, just stay in the back, try to see his line, try to learn, and then maybe change some stuff on my riding style. And then, yes, 5 laps to go, I say, okay, I have to make a pass, to disturb him, because he was by himself, like riding his pace. So I was like, okay, I have to fuck around with him. Sorry. And so I saw I was a little bit wide, so I wait before I took the throttle to block him, but he know me. So he takes the throttle really early and went back to the inside. So that was a good move from him. And after that, I knew I have to be first into the lapper, but I went lucky this time, and he was not lucky as me, so I was able to be with him last lap. And so going into the last turn, I tried to accelerate really hard to overtake him into the straight, but almost I side it. Then I say, okay, keep up, keep the head down. So I make a killer lap. I push really hard, almost crashed like 20 times the last lap, and wait a little bit too far in the last turn to try something. If I will try, I will send it to the moon. So I say, okay, just stay back and finish that race. So happy to be racing in Laguna. Happy to ride this helmets to celebrate 35 years of partnership with RI. And great weekend for my team, great weekend for me. So thanks to my M4 Suzuki Extra team. As always, great job, and big pleasure to work with those guys.
Thank you so much, Valentin. Congrats.
All right, our apologies for that. Language, of course, English is his second language. So.
I love Valentin. So he went 27 flat, 26.9 on the last lap for JD Beach, 27 flat for DeBeese, and he pushed the whole time. And congratulations to him. Just seems really relaxed. Like, he's obviously going to win a lot more races this year if he can, but JD Beach is just on fire right now. We've seen him do this before, Hannah. As usual, JD Beach, very calm and collected up front. And, I think he's going to be hard to beat from here on forward, right?
Take it away, Hannah.
JD, you had a big moment really early on. You were getting a lot of pressure from Valentin throughout the race, but you managed to come out on top. How'd you do it?
Yeah, I mean, my whole Monster Energy team, since we didn't ride yesterday, they worked really hard on the bike. And, I just got to thank Graves. I mean, it's been a long weekend because we struggled a lot on Friday. But yeah, I mean, for the race, we just kind of we stuck to the plan and just try to run smooth laps. And I mean, it was a great race, and I'm looking forward to Utah now. I mean, I'm feeling real good.
Well, congratulations. Thank you so much, JD.
Utah, Jason. I mean,
it's such a fun track. He gets close racing too.
He's got a great setup. He's got a very fast motorcycle, and he's a tiny guy. I know one guy who's not looking forward to Utah without question is Hayden Gilman.
Poor Hayden, I know, but
he's a big hole in the wind.
Yeah, there's 2 tracks that are tough for Hayden. That's MotoAmerica and of course Miller, especially with the lack of horsepower up there. That's what it does to the bikes. It kind of zaps them a little bit. But what a great end of the weekend for us here at Laguna Seca. Great racing from Supersport all the way back through the top 15 people.
All right, we'll take a break, and when we come back, our post-race coverage continues from WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Our post-race coverage continues after the MotoAmerica Supersport race has wrapped up with JD Beach, Valentin DeBees, and Hayden Gillum in that order. Let's take a look at the championship standings here as JD Beach now with 52 ahead of Hayden Gillum. Corey West still holding on to third after his DNF. Nick McFadden, just 9 points behind, Jay.
Yep, fourth place. Nick's just been solid all year. DeBees all the way up to fifth. And then we got Escalante, Mazziato having a great season as well there. And then we go back to 10th place. We got Jason Aguilar, Miles Thornton, Ashton Yates. Ashton wasn't really a player today. I didn't see him I saw him back there a little ways.
Yeah,
but
17th
place. Camacho Gilbert.
Maybe a little sore after his crash in Junior Cup.
Big crash in the Junior Cup race. So
yeah, because Ashton Yates all the way back there in 17th. Well, he has a podium. He has a podium finish. So that's the march up to the corkscrew. Of course, a absolute monument here near the Monterey Peninsula. Now, as for our roving social media guru Danny Rios, she had a chance to learn about Monterey from one of the greatest residents in this area, Wayne Rainey. Check this out.
You're in Monterey Bay. There's Cannery Row over there, Monterey Bay here, Fisherman's Wharf. This is my home. I was born and raised down in Southern California by the beach, so it's always been a part of my life. In Monterey, we have a few jewels. We have Pebble Beach, we have the aquarium, but the jewel in the crown is Laguna Seca Raceway.
Cannery Row was the epicenter of canning factories in the 1900s, helping evolve the area into the heart of seafood cuisine.
We find ourselves at Old Fisherman's Grotto. Established in the 1950s, this family-run restaurant is iconic for its international-inspired plates, but most importantly, its award-winning clam chowder.
So, two of our most popular and famous dishes that we serve here at the Old Fisherman's Grotto. And for you, Danielle, we have the macadamia-crusted halibut. And for you, Wayne, we have our famous seafood pasta that's named after my mom. It's called Linguine Isabella. And you'll find some nice crab meat, shrimp, and scallops, along with some linguine noodles served in a nice butter cream garlic sauce.
Wow, that's
so
tasty.
Two of our most popular dishes.
Very
Enjoy.
Excited. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Wayne, this was actually one of the best clam chowders I've ever had. Thank you so much for bringing me to the Old Fisherman's Grotto and sharing a piece of Monterey with me.
Well, thank you for coming. I guess my secret's out. This is what Monterey is all about, so I'm glad you enjoyed your trip.
Cheers to that. Thank you.
Part of the reason why you need to get out here to WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca and check out a race next year. So much to offer, not only here at the racetrack, but all around, Jay.
Yeah, there's just so many great things and reasons to come up to this track and come up to this area. I mean, like Wayne said, Pebble Beach, obviously a favorite of mine and other people's, but there's just a lot of neat things. And when you have days like today and you go down by the wharf and it's just beautiful and clear, and yeah, it's a lot of good reasons to be out there.
All right, let's get down to Hannah. Hannah, what's going on?
Not a whole lot. They're just finishing up celebrations down here. I'm very excited because...
Why are you excited?
I'm always excited. Come on, guys.
Aren't you getting married in a couple weeks?
I am getting married in a couple of weeks to
that guy?
our very own Kyle Wyman.
Wait a second. You're off the market in a couple weeks?
I am. My sister, however, she's not off the market in a couple weeks. She might be making an appearance at a race or two this season. So, there's still hope, right?
There's always hope, Hannah. There's always hope.
Are you excited to get married? What are you thinking doing something like this right in the middle of the season?
I am. It's more nerve-wracking than a superbike race.
You think you're more nervous to marry me than to race a motorcycle?
Nah.
Hey, Hannah, ask him a question. If a World Superbike opportunity comes up in 2 weeks, is he going to stick with the original plan, or is he heading overseas?
Good one.
Listen, I will take one for the team there. Greg told me to ask you if a World Superbike ride. Oh, Jason, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's
Jason
all right.
told me to ask you if a World Superbike opportunity came up in 2 weeks on the date of the wedding. Would you do that, or would we still get married?
To be honest, you would tell me to go race.
I would. I would. Listen, he missed Miss US. He missed Miss USA last year because he was racing at VIR. So
Girl.
there's a common goal here. If it's for the greater good of our team, then I'm on board. I would postpone the wedding.
You make a cute couple. That's great. So sorry,
guys.
everyone. Hannah's coming off the market in 2 weeks. Kyle's
Shelby's
got her all
not.
buttoned up. Yeah. Shelby's all set.
Sorry, Shelby, if you're watching.
She'll be pleased to hear that. All right, well, you two enjoy it. Don't go anywhere, though, Hannah, because we continue our coverage post-race from WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, as we look at the happy couple. We'll take a break here on BN Sports. We're back to WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca here in Monterey, California, with a beautiful look at the paddock. Heading up to the corkscrew, which is something you can do. You see fans walk up there, and you get to see that spectacular part of the racetrack. As we look at JD Beach, Valentin Bees, and Hayden Gillum after their race. We had a piece prepared about Valentin Bees that we couldn't run at the top of the show because race action was so good and things were so tight, but we're going to bring it to you right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, M4 X-Star Suzuki's Valentin Bees.
First time I went on a motorcycle, so that was when I was 6 years old, and a friend of mine was riding his motorcycle, and I was riding my bicycle, and I was like, hey man, I want to try your thing so hard, and then his dad allowed me to jump on the bike without telling me to my parents, because my parents was like, you will never jump on a motorcycle, and start from this day I was like, that's the best thing I ever do, and I want to do it all my life. When I was a kid I raced a lot in Spain and a lot in France, and then I moved to horsemanship for 3 years full-time, plus more couple other years in world endurance, and then I went back again in Frenchmanship, and I felt like I don't want to spend all my life in zoosmanship, so I decided to move in some other places and went over in America and feel like this was the place to be for me. So I find a deal with my M4 Suzuki X-Star team, and since that time I feel like I did the right choice and don't want to move from here. I feel like I can ride in this country for a long time and still feel fresh.
And I think it's great that we have him here, and it always just seems like that team finds somebody that can run a Suzuki faster than anybody else. Martin Cardenas comes to mind from before, and so on, and great to have Valentin Bees here, a healthy one in that.
We'll take a break. We're coming back. MotoAmerica is presented by Dunlop. Dunlop motorcycle tires are the official tire of MotoAmerica. And powered by Kawasaki. Let the good times roll.